We're going into the second half here of Drop Frame. Zeke, you moved your camera. What are you doing, buddy?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Oh, you pulled the screen. There you go. It happens. It makes sense. Zeke, where do we begin on our tour of the Indies? Where do you want to start? We got a lot.
Let's see. Let's start with what did I write down? Can you find? Let's see. The day that started with it might be Rebel Cops or
I've got
Cat Quest.
I've got here. Let me tell you what I've got. I've got the day that you start with Noita, which I would love to talk about, because that also has Cat Quest 2, Neo Cab.
Yes. Yep. That's the one. That's
okay,
the one.
Let's start there. Can we start with Noita?
Okay. You bet.
Okay, we've talked about this game because Co played it and recommended it on the broadcast recently. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it. And I also have some stuff to add because I spoiled myself and saw the world map for this game, and holy fuck! So Zeke, how did you like Noita? Also,
Listen,
is that the way to pronounce it? Is it Noita?
Yeah, it's a witch in Finnish, I think.
Okay,
maybe not Finnish, Dutch. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, but I know it means witch, I believe.
Okay.
Yes, Finnish. Okay. Noita is a roguelike game. You play as a witch, warlock, whatever, with a wand, and it is super like
every pixel is simulated is the tagline.
Every pixel is simulated. It's super customizable. Maybe not customizable, but like there's a ton of different combinations of things you can build, like a lot of different builds. I didn't play it very much. I'll be honest with you. I only played it for a little over an hour.
Okay.
I watched Man vs. Game play it more in depth because he really fell in love with it. But the reason why I didn't play it for very long is because for a platformer game like this, I want to play it with a controller, and Man does play with a controller. Don't think I don't know that, because people were very, very apt to tell me that he played with the controller. It didn't feel right for me. It felt a little imprecise with the controller for me personally. So I didn't play it that much. But most people, I would assume, play it with keyboard mouse. But there's so many different combinations of builds and wands and spells and all that kind of stuff. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like if you mixed Spelunky with what was that? It just had a sequel come out, and in the original, you're like this real tiny player, like your real tiny sprite. Risk of Rain. Thank you.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. It kind of strikes me as
a good job. Whoever guessed that in chat, that was a
awesome. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of
was in 3D though.
Flunky and Risk of Rain.
Yeah.
Because the sprite is pretty small. You move around pretty quickly. Things come at you fast. You die really fast. Like you die a lot. But for me, it didn't click for me. It's and I want to make that absolutely clear. It's not because I didn't have it's not a bad game. It's not poorly constructed or anything. It just didn't work out for me. But, Code, do you have any, you played it a little bit, right?
Yeah, we talked about it.
When
Co was checking it out. But yeah, anything to add, Co?
I love the pixel simulation. That's extremely unique in this game, where every single thing can be basically influenced or affected by every other thing. So they've got things like acid and burnable objects of different types of flammability. Water is done pretty well. There's gas even. But yeah, it's. I had a really good time with the game. I played it actually a lot offline as well, because it, just like Zeke said, you die so often that, and unless I never made it very far, especially as you get towards the deeper stuff, like if you don't have good gear, like things become pretty tanky and spongy. But at the same time, if you have like a really good run and you get a good wand and can socket quick spells into it, and all of a sudden you're doing huge amounts of damage super quickly and your mana's up. But it's a really cool roguelite. I had a really good time with it, and I've already kind of talked about it, so most of my thoughts are out there. But I didn't beat it. Kind of like Zeke said, I had a lot of fun with it, but I didn't quite have that click where it's kind of like I want to play this game a lot or I want to beat this game. I never really got that with Noita, but it was really fun for the 10 to 15 hours that I did put into it.
So here's the thing that grabbed me. I probably will never play this game, but I'm definitely interested in hearing or seeing more about this game. This is a world map of the game. If you're worried at all about spoilers, there's not really any spoilers. It just kind of speaks to how big this game actually is. This is where you spawn when you start a brand new game. Right here in the very center. Oh, you can't see my cursor. I've got it disabled. But right here in the very center of the map, if I zoom in. Oh, that's really zoomed in. Let's go right there, where it says spawn. Okay? Now, you can either go all the way down there and see the rest of the fucking game, because that's one part of it. Or you could go up to the cheese moon and see all the stuff in the sky, which apparently I didn't know was there. You can also start right here in the center and just go all the way to the left if you want. Like, there's no direction in this game. This right here is more intriguing than anything that I've seen streamed of this game, because the only thing I've seen streamed of this game is it's hard and you die very quickly. I saw a couple like end game stuff, like wands and different abilities. Someone had a wand spell where they effectively created a nuke, and the nuke went off and then created like a Noah's Ark flood, and there was just water like literally the entire world was just filled with water when they used this spell, and just drowned everyone. It's kind of insane to like see that type of stuff, especially from what you got, like the gameplay that I've seen of you guys, where it's you just have a wand and you're like shooting, a laser or whatever. To see that type of stuff is kind of crazy.
Even
insane.
crazier. Did we talk about the alchemy stuff?
I've seen that stuff. I don't know if we might have mentioned it, but yeah, go ahead. Explain a little bit more.
You can basically, like later in the game, and I never got to this point, but later in the game, you can take elements and combine them to do different things. And apparently you can get like recipes and things of that nature or something like that. But what you can do is if you have the right world seed and you know what you're doing and you can find it, then you can basically make like a Midas's touch kind of thing where you can convert an area to gold. And then just like it just endlessly spreads out from that area. So you can turn entire levels into this like transmogged gold substance, which you can then loot and take on to the next area. But yeah, you can literally turn the entire world to gold under the right situations. But it's like a super hidden recipe that you need like certain things to line up, and you need to know exactly what you're doing or do a lot of experimentation. But there's some very cool things in Noita. I've never seen that world map before, but pretty badass, man. It makes me want to play it just a little bit more seeing that.
Here's some different things you can do in the game. Watch this bomb. Game lags because the explosion goes off. He destroys everything. Then he creates this flood and just fills the world with water. It's just like, what the fuck? It's crazy to see the type of stuff like this. Someone in chat is correct to point out this is still early access, still in development. So there's some crazy stuff in there.
Yeah, what's also fun is when you watch this, every single pixel is simulated. So every single dot on that screen is subject to all the same rules of the others, and can flow, expand, do whatever it needs to do to be interactive with everything around it. It's wild, man.
Yeah, here's a black hole gun that then teleports you when it finishes shooting. So you can just kind of like skip through entire areas of terrain. So, yeah, not necessarily something you'll see at the very outset of the game. I think the first, and Zeke, you can maybe speak to this, and Co as well. I think when you first play this game, you kind of just die a lot, and you start to learn how the fuck what's happening. Yeah.
That's the big part. Learning. You experiment, you learn, you have very little hand holding, especially after like the very first section is like WASD to move, this to kick, this to use, good luck. And then it just kind of like releases you into the world. So there's tons of spells, tons of different wand types. You kind of have to just experiment with them and see what they do. There's modifiers on top of that. You can put different spells in different orders to create different effects. Like, yeah, deep and large.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moments, like even in the hour and 15 minutes that I played it, there was still a lot of moments where you're like, what the fuck killed me?
Yeah.
What the fuck was that? what the fuck is it? And then you can mouse over everything. It'll tell you like, this is fire, this is acid, this is water, this is rock, this is gold, this is blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And it all impacts you. Like if you have a little bit of oil on your body, like you're flammable. Like you don't want to go anywhere near fire.
Yep. Yeah, you got to watch your condition. Like a blue like drop is water, a green drop is acid or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of those games where I just want to see, like, I definitely want to watch that as it goes through early access and hopefully fully releases one day, because it seems like a really cool premise. But that
and the modding, like it's getting modded a lot. I think there's one that's built into the game now that you can do a randomizer, like as far as your starting equipment.
Oh, really?
You can like randomly start as a slime mage, a fire mage, blah blah blah, or witch.
Nice, that's cool. Yeah, I was watching a video of it where someone got a like polymorph wand or a polymorph potion, and they drank the potion and turned into like a mechanical walking spider that had like artillery shots.
It's Wild Wild West.
Yeah, exactly. That was the Wild Wild West thing. That type of stuff is very interesting to see. So we'll keep our eye on that. Zeke, after that, you jumped into a game that I only know because Jesse Cox said the first one was, quote, really good. Cat's Quest 2. The hell is this game?
Cat Quest.
Why'd they make a second one?
It's here's the thing with Cat Quest. It's a young person's game. It's okay boomer. It's for a younger audience. That was my only complaint with it was that it's like ages 8 to 12 or something like that. It's an action game. You upgrade your weapons and armor. You have a little buddy. You can switch between being the little kitty or the little doggy. You get like, you can use spells or you can use melee, that kind of stuff. It's beautifully done. The animation is fantastic. It's adorable. It's cute. It's not like super difficult. But it's also very childlike. Sure. It has a maturity quality to it that I felt like, okay, I played it for, I don't know exactly how long I played. Let me see. Yeah, I played it for about an hour and a half, and I was like, okay, it's a good game, but it's for younger people for sure.
When Jesse talked about this game, at least the first game, he said that the game is for younger people, but there's like an overarching thing that the younger crowd wouldn't pick up. Did you ever get to that point at all in the second one? And maybe Chad can help me out here as well if you didn't. I'm just wondering what the fuck that actually means. If it's just like Jesse being Jesse and finding like the conspiracy side of things, or if it's just a game, like an RPG for kid. Like it seems like a basic RPG hack and slash for kids, right?
That's what it seemed like to me, but yeah. I didn't play it for very long. Apparently, like it's pretty big. I mean, someone from my chat said the Great GQ took a couple of multiple streams to finish the game. So.
Oh yeah. Okay, Jesse was talking about the fact that it's a post-apocalyptic world and all the humans have died, and so the pets reign. That's why.
Yeah. Oh, and it's disgusting with puns. Oh, it's so gross.
I saw Meowjesties. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah,
it's really gross.
Yeah,
it's grown.
Oh, they're in Perest.
Yep.
Kit Kat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ugh. Sorry, it hurts sometimes.
Yeah. What's this game cost?
The game is. Oh yeah, let me do the blurb. Following the phenomenal success of Cat Quest, developers, the Gentle Bros, return to the world of Felingard, fantastical land under threat from a continuing war. Came out September 24th. Developed by the Gentle Bros, published by P-Cube Limited. It is $14.99 on Steam.
Okay. Also, every line so far of this dialogue has had some sort of pun in it, so I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I didn't notice.
Neocab was the next game on the list. I remember when this debuted at something, maybe E3. We saw this. Maybe when we all saw this. Yeah. Well, Zeke, what'd you think? And then we'll get Coast thoughts on it. How's the Neocab?
Neocab is a stylistic game. It is largely a visual novel. It is just lines of dialogue with choices. I think it might be a choices matter kind of a game. But yeah, you drive around a cab in the future. It's not post-apocalyptic, but it is like cyberpunk-ish, where like a corporation has started taking over everything, and the Neo cab is like one of the last bastions of non-AI driven vehicles. Like most people drive around with, the car is the computer, and it just drives you to your destination or whatever. So you're one of the last holdouts of like actual human drivers and stuff. So you pick up all kinds of different people. There's a deep storyline going on. I played it for a little over an hour. So I got a little bit of a taste of it. It says you play as Lena, the last human driver for hire, searching for her missing friend in the neon streets of Los Ojos. In this interactive story, you meet unique passengers during your nightly shifts, each with their own clues and secrets if you can get them to share. Developed by Chance Agency, published by Fellow Traveler. It's $14.99. You can download a demo, which I always like. You can download a demo of it for free if you want to test it out before you buy it. I will say one of the huge standouts for this game, kind of like Disco Elysium, the dialogue is very well done. It is written out, and it's mostly not voice acted, I don't think. I played so many games, and this was a while ago.
Gosh, shaking his head no.
Voice acting in it.
Yeah, I don't think there's voice acting.
Okay. So it is, yeah, mostly just reading, making choices, but the word choice that they use and the way they develop things is very well done, in my opinion. One of the mechanics of the game is they give you a bracelet that it's kind of a mood bracelet, basically. So you can see what your dialogue choices are kind of based on what mood you're in. So if you're in a ragey mood, it'll give you like a rage option for a dialogue choice. If you're in a good mood, it'll give you like a very pleasant option for a dialogue choice, stuff like that. And you can change your mood based on how you respond to who's in your cab at any given time. So if you start getting a little bit more agitated and a little bit more like pugnacious with the person you're in cab with, you'll start edging towards like the red area, and it's like a big, like, it looks like a big flower petal with like or like a color wheel, and you move out towards the edge of it, going towards like you're light red now, so you might want to back off, or if you want to keep going, you'll go to a steadily darker and brighter red, making you like your mood being more and more angry, and so on and so forth, with green, blue, that kind of stuff.
Right.
But the art style, I dig the art style. It Borderlands-y with the thick outlines, or not Borderlands.
Looks more Left 4 Dead, or not Left 4 Dead. Sorry, Walking Dead.
Yeah, Walking Dead. That's what I meant.
We
sorry.
got there.
I meant, thick outlines on the character models and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A little Archer, like it kind of smacks of like the yeah. But it's for what it is, it's a fantastic game. It's really slow paced, but it's a visual novel. And it's more about the story unraveling than the gameplay itself. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Co, what are your thoughts? You said he checked it out.
I actually was on a plane a few weeks ago, and I brought my Switch with me, and I wanted to find games to play on my Switch, and I saw this, and I downloaded it. I don't know if maybe I didn't give it enough time or something. I played this game for 20 minutes and was just like, oh, like I wasn't feeling it. Nothing interesting had happened. I wasn't really attached to the characters. It felt like it was very much just droning on. Like it didn't feel like there was really a point to anything I was doing. Again, maybe I didn't play it long enough to get to the hook. But I bought like 5 or 6 games to play on the flight, and like 20 minutes into this one, I was just like, dude, like this is not going anywhere. And like Zeke was saying, like there was no voice acting, and yeah, I don't know. I didn't really feel it. From the sounds of it, I should have given it a little bit more time. Like maybe something would have started kind of snowballing or becoming a little bit more interesting. But it was very hard for me. And I mean, I was sitting on a plane. Like, it's not like there was a lot of other stuff for me to do. I was totally focused.
Yeah.
Like, I remember at one point being like, come on, give me a reason to keep playing. Like, let's something interesting happen. And it just like never really did. So again, maybe I just stopped a little bit too early and didn't give it enough time. But yeah, that
That's
didn't really
totally
do it for me.
Might be
totally
true.
fair assessment. Like I could see someone really enjoying it or being totally bored to tears.
I think when I read the description, made it sound like it was going to be a lot more interesting and engaging. So it may have just been the dichotomy between my expectations and what I got. It kind of made me be like, I'll let me do something else that'll get me a little bit more plugged in quicker.
Well, the second tag in Steam is Cyberpunk, so it's like, oh, Cyberpunk.
That might have been why I downloaded it. Just
Yeah,
Sure. Yeah.
I was definitely hoping there would be like interesting like cyberpunk elements. But yeah, it turned out it was just kind of like a sci-fi cab a little bit. So that was a little bit of disappointing.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. I remember thinking like this exact kind of game could have happened in a normal cab. Like there was nothing. The only situation that was kind of like cyberpunky was the fact that it was in a future and corporations were a little bit more prevalent, but like everything else was just like Uber simulator. That Uber guy talks too much. That was
That's fair.
got a bit debated with it.
Well, cool. That's NeoCab. Next game was Games Plus Demos. I have no idea what I'm about to click.
Oh, it's probably because I didn't have a
Yeah, I didn't have a
tag
listing
in-
or whatever.
in-
So here we go.
Yep. Here Be Dragons.
Okay.
Is the name of this game. This was a very, very fun game. You're looking at a part that it does have some reading, but it's not you're not inundated with just text.
Okay. I'll skip ahead.
The gameplay aspect of it is it's turn-based. It's like you roll dice, like you see the bottom there, there's 4 6-sided dice. And you all like you and the enemy choose from that pool of dice to do your attacks and whatnot. So it's you fight like other ships, sea monsters, islands of like, different peoples here and there. You're basically an explorer. The story doesn't really matter all that much, but it does have a decent sense of humor. I like the art style. It kind of reminds me of kind of like a Don't Starve art style. And the gameplay is fun. It's a little bit like Dicey Dungeons, in that like there's a random element to it, but you can hedge your bets to win the battles and stuff. The tutorial is very step by step. They're like, okay, this is the first battle. You're just gonna fire your cannon. All right, next battle, we're gonna show you about defense. Next battle, we're gonna show you about how to heal yourself. We're gonna tell you about the turn orders. There's like a salvo, which is like the first thing. You go first, and they go first. Or if you roll, if you want to do a bigger attack, you sacrifice going first to do like more damage. They go first, hit you, and then you hit them with a bigger attack and stuff like that. So there's some strategy involved. Like I said, it's got a great sense of humor. I dug the art style. I could see this being a game that you can pick up, play it for a little bit, and then put it back down, come back to it whenever you feel like it. The story doesn't like compel you to keep going. It's just kind of there. I did have a lot of fun voicing the alchemist as Dr. Strangelove. That was a lot of fun.
Nice.
But it's a good game. It says Here Be Dragons is a satirical turn-based strategy game featuring unique living map graphics where you lead a group of crazed captains and eradicate legendary monsters in order to allow Christopher Columbus the discovery of the New World, which, Christopher Columbus.
Sure.
But came out August 16th of this year, developed and published by Red Zero Games. It is early access. Let's get that out there.
Okay.
It is an early access game, so it's not finished. $14.99 on Steam right now. I played it for a couple of hours, and I really enjoyed it. This is a game that I might see myself, like, once I've finally finished Dicey Dungeons, which is, like I said, a game I could just come back to and play like a round or two, and then put down for a day, 3 days, a week, and then come back. But once I finish that, I could totally see myself coming back to this and continuing on.
Sweet.
Yep.
Cool. And then you played with kids. What is this? Oh, I know what this game
Can
is.
we not do that? Like, can we not clip that, please?
Well, then it's just gonna get clipped. You know how this. You know how the internet is.
Kids.
I know what this
It's by
game
the same
is.
people who did Plug and Play.
Yeah. Okay. We'll leave that alone. How much of this do I want to show? Because I know what this game is. I've not played it myself, but do we want to show anything here? Because that's kind of what the game is.
You can show a little bit.
Okay. All right.
Are you at the very beginning?
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. About there. Close
Okay.
to it enough.
This is a game as art. Just like if you've never seen Plug and Play, it's a very short game, but it's one of those games that is designed to make you think, make you ponder, elicit some sort of emotional response from you. They don't explain anything. It's surreal, weird. The only description on the Steam page is a game of crowds, and that's all it says. You can. It's one of those things where you can glean your own meaning from it. Like there's a section of people, like there's like, I don't know, a dozen or more like people standing, and then you click on one of them and one of them points this way, and then you click on another one and the other one points this way, and you have to get them all to point one direction, and then they all run off screen in that direction. And that can mean something. Like, absolutely. Like, what does that mean? Like, this guy did this and this guy, then I clicked on that guy. It's one of those games where it's just like, it's an experience.
It's the prequel to Death Stranding.
Yes, it is. It's $2.99. It took me like 30 minutes. It's like a 30 minute game. But it's developed by Playables, Mario von Rickenbach, and published by Double Fine.
Cool. All right. Sorry, I was loading up another Indie Sunday.
That's okay.
You want to start with the one where you played Death Coming? Although you didn't really play it too much. Is that a bad game? Oh no,
Death.
It looks like. Is this still Death Coming? What is this? Oh no, it starts with Sea Salt. I guess that was a game that like didn't load or something.
Oh yeah, there was something wrong with it or something.
Yeah. So we'll start with Sea Salt. If you have that one.
Sea Salt. Oh yeah, Sea Salt. Sea Salt is a dark fantasy reverse horror action strategy game where you play as the nightmarish force of Dagon by controlling and growing a horde of minions. So you play as the horde. So you start off by playing as a horde of, I want to say, like they're creepers or something like that. They give them a monstery name.
It's like some sort of small monster.
Yeah, the basic gist of the game is you play as the horde and you have to kill entire screens of people. The start of the story is the religious people in town made a deal with this dark force and like welched on their end of the deal or whatever. So we are coming to exact our payment from everybody. And we're basically here to just destroy the entire town of people and, eat them up, whatever. But you get this, you start off with these creepers. Then as the game progresses, you get like cultists who do ranged attacks. You get flies that are very quick, but they're weak. You get like all kinds of different, like you get slugs and slimes and all that kind of stuff. And they enter your horde. So you can have a horde of 5, 6, however many different creatures. And the object of the game is to kill everybody. But there's certain like enemies with shotguns will destroy anybody that's ranged attacks. So you want to take, if you do that map, you want to take all your melee guys into that map because the shotgun guys will destroy anybody else.
Gotcha.
And so on and so forth. So you tailor your horde to what map you're doing.
Yeah.
Is this like a new 2D version of Sacrifice?
I'm not sure.
You remember that game you played? It was one of the really old ones you played, where you had the little army of NPCs and you were the caster. And you'd move around, and the little army would follow you. There's also a game called Overlord.
I remember Overlord.
It's kind of
People said Overlord while I was playing it.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They mentioned it for sure.
Cool.
Also, people
Very
mentioned Pikmin.
Oh yeah,
I haven't played that.
Yeah, that's probably the originator of all that, I would think.
It is developed by YCJY Games. Came out October 17th this year. It is $14.99 on Steam. And yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, you get this upgradable system. I don't think it's not a roguelike, I don't think.
Yeah.
When you die, you just start from the point like a checkpoint you died at. You just keep going. And there are boss fights and that kind of thing. Like the first boss fight is on a ship, and you have to kill all of his crew and the captain of the ship. Yeah. And then the Kraken comes and destroys the ship. Great.
Naturally. BDSM, Big Drunk Satanic Massacre. You played it for 30 minutes. I'm sure that's not too revealing about the game. What is this? Oh God, you're stuck in the options menu. What is this? That actually looks much better than I ever could have imagined for a game with that title.
Honestly, I was a little apprehensive. It's like, oh, BDSM, they're playing on the, whatever.
Yeah.
The cover, the box art of the game is a ripoff of Doom.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right.
Oh,
we'll give this a look.
Yeah, that's why I've heard that.
However, it's actually pretty goddamn fun.
Yeah.
BDSM is the first satirical action RPG where you get to play Lou, Satan's son, Lucifer, get some booze, kill the traitors, save hell, and rescue the hottest demoness from the clutches of those nasty people and mega corporations. Developed by Big Way Games, published by the same, and it's $19.99 on Steam. This game is Smash TV. Remember Smash TV?
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of Smash TV. It's a top-down twin-stick shooter. It controls really well. It has a metal kind of a sense of humor, and also like an Evil Dead kind of a feeling to it as far as the attitude of the game.
Yeah.
So there's lots of like hell yes and like in order to get to like secret rooms, you have to find the statue of the chick with 3 boobs, the demon with 3 boobs, and you push on the center boob and it opens up a secret doorway. Like if that gives you any indication of like, the sense of humor of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you drink alcohol to get your health back. There are boss fights. It's a lot of horde mode where they all come at you at once. You survive however many like waves of enemies, and then you move on to the next thing. The bosses are funny. One of the bosses is like this fat dude that sits in a cubicle, and he's like a super nerd or something like that. You have to fight off all the ads and kill him at the same time and stuff like that. It's really fast paced. It's loud. It's rock and roll metal, and it's very crude. And I had a good time with it. I don't know if I would play it more than I already have.
Yeah.
And I played it for about an hour and a half, even though it says like half an hour, but I played it for about an hour and a half. It was fun, but it's nothing real special.
Cool. How much was this? You might have said already.
$19.99.
$20. Okay. Do you know if there's $20 worth of game in there?
I do not know.
Okay. That just seems a little steep.
But you do get the OST for free.
Oh.
Which is pretty good.
Music was good. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Next game was Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
What? Okay. This talk about a stark contrast from BDSM. What is this?
I play a lot of different games on Indie Sunday.
Yeah.
This is another game like kind of like Cat Quest in that it's a little young for me.
Okay.
It's a action platformer at heart with you go through and you hack shit. You get different items like see the water below me.
Yeah.
Like later on in the game, you get heavy boots so you can sink to the bottom and get treasures and secrets that way.
Sure.
Take off the boots to float back up to the top, so on and so forth. I mean, it's a gorgeous looking game, very anime, like young anime-ish. But honestly, it was just a little bit too what's it like, not complex.
Simplistic.
Yeah, it was a little simplistic, and
Oh god,
didn't
look at
really
that
have a
crab.
draw for someone like who's an adult-ish like me.
That's that crab is me whenever Aaron brings fast food home. I don't have to leave. Ah, yay.
Barbecue. Did you bring me barbecue?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. How long? Let me see. Let's skip around here and see some of the later stuff. I mean, to
And
be
this
honest,
is actually a sequel to, like, this is a running series of games. Okay, a legendary series returns with a grand new adventure. Enjoy a colorful action adventure game made alongside Ryuichi Nishizawa, creator of the original Wonder Boy in Monster World series. Came out July 25th. Developed by Game Atelier, and published by FDG Entertainment. It's a little on the pricey side. It's $30.
what's going on there in the background where there was like a treasure chest and mobs back down to that other? I mean, can you get back there or something?
Yep, there's ways to like
Oh, wow.
shoot you into the background.
This looks much more complex than the visuals lead on, I think. But he said it was very kiddie,
Yeah.
so is it not that? Is it deceivingly complex?
I mean,
Or is it just is what it is? Like I'm looking for more than there actually is.
yeah, I think you're looking for more than there actually is.
Okay. All right.
But again, I only played it for an hour. So
Right. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Last game for this one at least was Felix the Reaper.
Felix the Reaper. Felix the Reaper, you play as a love-struck Grim Reaper who's kind of chubby, but he also fucking loves to dance. It's a puzzle game.
Okay.
Let's just get that out of the way. It is definitely a puzzle game. It's charming. It has its cute moments, but the puzzle aspect of it is a Reaper cannot be in direct sunlight, so you have to follow the shadows in order to manipulate the game. You have to have basically you're correcting people's deaths. So the first thing you do, you see a person get shot with an arrow on accident. So you have to go into this event, and you have to place things like the deer was supposed to die and not the guy. So you move like this barrel here, this rock here. You move this cart over here. You move time forward and backwards sometimes here and there. You move the shadows. I don't know if you can move them more than one, like 2 different places.
Yeah.
But what you do is you get into a spot where the shadow intersects on both spots. So the sun moves and the shadow moves from here to this, like that. So you have to like move the sun back and forth in order to get an optimal path. It gets pretty difficult. Like you sit there and you'll puzzle like, okay, if I move that cart there, I can't get to the barrel. But if I put the barrel in front of the cart can't come up here, and then I can get around and stuff like that. So there's a lot of like stop and ponder. So if you like puzzle games, it's a great game. The music is really good. It's different. It's very easy to listen to. It's not too like pounding, driving bass, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's good background music. Yeah, you see, like
Guy's a
moving and
dancer, man.
grooving and stuff like that. And it's a level attack, so every level has like different steps along the way, and you can get like challenges like 3 stars if you do it within this amount of time with this many moves, and so on and so forth. But yeah, it was fun. Developed by Kong Orange, published by Data Lake Entertainment. It is a little on the higher side for indie games. It's $24.99.
Dang. Okay.
But yeah, it says Felix Reaper is a challenging 3D puzzle game about bringing mortals into deadly positions. You play as Felix, the ever-dancing bringer of death, who just so happens to be dangerously in love with life.
Hmm.
There you go.
There you go.
Fun concept for a game.
Yeah, definitely unique, without a doubt.
Oh shit! I forgot. I forgot one of the main selling points, and probably why it costs so much. The narrator of the game, Sir Pat Stew.
Wait, what? Pat?
Yeah, Patrick Stewart.
Awesome.
Totally forgot.
What?
Can't believe I forgot that. Yeah, he narrates the game.
Weird. Okay. Apparently that game's free on Windows Game Pass right now as well, if you want to pick it up.
Oh, good.
Well,
Okay. Yeah.
if you have Windows Game Pass, you can get it. It's weird to say it's free on. Yeah. Anyways. Cool. Let me. Was that? Did we miss any? I think that's. Well, there's this one. We missed this other one. Let's knock this out as well, so we're all caught up. I think this will be the final one.
Yep. I think there's 2 more.
I've got one more. There might be another one. Griftlands. Let's start with that. What is Griftlands? Do you remember?
Griftlands. Oh, that was okay. That's why I'm not seeing it, because on Epic.
Oh, we talked about this.
Did we? Have we seen this stuff?
I think we did.
We got Griftlands, After Party, Encased, and Song of Horror. I don't remember talking.
Yes, I got Encased. I have Song of Horror. Griftlands. Griftlands is
Oh, we talked about this at the E3 show. Yeah, never mind.
Gotcha.
God, what does Griftlands remind me of?
I'm getting
It
some,
kind of has a Slay the Spire kind of feel to it, a little bit.
Oh, this was the game that had that amazing cinematic, right? Like
No. That was Floor's Lava, but it is Clay. It is by the same people.
Oh, okay.
Don't Starve, Oxygen Not Included.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Floor's Lava. The opening cinematic is very good as well. They open with a trailer of the game. I believe, I'm not sure if it's an alpha right now. That's right. 1 second here. Let me.
What's that? God damn it! It's like that Nordic game where you're in a caravan, but you also have like RTS style combat.
Banner Saga.
Banner Saga. Yes, the art looks very much like Banner Saga to me.
I mentioned that. Yes, I mentioned that it reminds me of Banner Saga. A little bit of Banner Saga. A little bit of Dragon. Oh God, what is it? The old game with Dirk the Daring. You had to like time it correctly.
Say it again, Co.
Dragon Keep?
I don't know, that's not sparking anything for Z.
Dragon's Lair.
Oh, Dragon's
Lair. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of. I felt like a little bit of that as well.
Thanks, Jeff.
But oh shit.
What?
Hold on. I went to the wrong thing. Oh shit. Shit is lagging or something.
It seemed fine to us.
Okay, maybe it's just on my end then.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, I just had to get to the page. Griftlands is a deck building roguelite where you negotiate, fight, steal, or otherwise persuade others to get your way. It is alpha, so it's not. It's like basically like, you know, Epic's version of early access. It's $14.99, published by Clay, developed by Clay, and it. I like the art style. It's fully voice acted. I think mostly fully voice acted, unless you're doing like bartering with the potion seller or the card seller or whatever. But everything else is very much voice acted. It's voice acted very well. It takes place on its own world, its own like land or whatever. The cool thing about this game is it's really complex. There's so many different things. You see the circle around the guy on the right. All of those things have information regarding how the fight is going to go. One is like he has a buff. One is something he's going to do to you. Like next turn, his next attack is going to be this. The thing on the far right is like something that I have like a condition that I have given him with a different card. And there's 2 different ways you can, or 2 different battle scenarios. One is a negotiation and one is an actual battle. They both use cards, but they use 2 different decks of cards. So the main character has 2 different decks of cards. negotiation cards and battle cards. Some situations you can only pick one or the other, but some situations you can make your choice. Do you want to negotiate or do you want to, just kill this guy? And there's another choice that, like, at the end, if you choose to do the battle thing, is do you let them surrender and let them go, or do you just like the last thing you do is like murder them outright? You have that choice at the end. You get different cards as you go along, and the cards all have. It's like jumping into Magic right now.
Yeah.
Every card, like, there's straightforward cards. Like, you see those one cards at the bottom right. It says 1 red, 1 to 4. Costs 1 action, does 1 to 4 damage, and has no description. Those are like the straightforward cards. But there's tons of cards out there with different little things. Good thing about it is, just like Magic Arena, you mouse over a card, it says every little effect. It's like, this means this.
Yeah.
This on the card means this. And so
then
you can take your time and read all of the descriptions, and you can build your deck as you go along. It has Slay the Spire, like deck building kind of rules, where if you want to take out cards, you have to find certain events that will destroy cards in your deck that are not as useful, they're superfluous or whatever. You win battles, you gain cards, you get a pick from like 3 that you want to put in your deck and stuff like that. And you can build like a strategic deck around like discarding, because there's certain cards that if you discard it, the only way to get the card to go into effect is if you discard it. So you like look. That's the way I was doing it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna try and find more cards that say discard a card from your hand, and that way I'll get this effect or whatever. And it's really fun. And I know I'm talking a lot, but they throw a lot of stuff at you right away. But the first battles, you don't really need to have a good handle on it, because the first battles are tutorials and they're pretty easy. So you can just damage them straight out and not really worry about too much about losing or dying or whatever. But if you really want to get into it, I think in later battles, you'll have to like think about, okay, if I do this, he's going to counter with this, and then I have this buff, blah, blah, blah. But it's a lot of room for complexity, and it's also it's still an alpha, so it's not fully released yet.
Yeah. It's definitely an interesting take to see a card game that's not about killing your opponents. It's like convincing them to do something, at least in half of the game. Yeah. Like it's dialogue via a card game. That's kind of cool for sure. Yep. Usually it's just about, getting their HP pool down to 20 or down from 20 to 0. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, cool.
And I think in my however long hour plus time of playing it, there were like, I want to say at least 25 terms on the cards. Like you see that influence, composure, like those are all like things that do other things.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm wondering if is it all narrative? Like there's no multiplayer, right? It's a story driven game in a sense.
Yes. I believe it's just single player, and you can choose like how you want to play. If you want to gather up, because eventually you gather, NPCs that follow you. I never got to that point, but you'll have like 3 people on your side against 5 people on their side, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Huh. All right. Cool. Definitely keep an eye on that. After Party. I've seen a bunch of people checking this out. How is After Party for you?
Man, really, really wanted to like this game.
Really? It's not good?
It's good.
Oh.
The dialogue is good. Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
The dialogue is really good. But boy, talk about smelling your own farts, man. Like this, the writers loved writing for this game. There is no breath. There is no space in between any like dialogue for the most part. And one of the things it was made by the same people who made Oxenfree, if you've heard of that or know that game.
Sure.
Dialogue in that is really top notch. But one of the things I didn't like about that game and I don't like about this game is if you walk or go too fast to the destination, like you'll meet somebody here and you'll walk together and talk all the way here. But if you go at the pace that the game lets you go, you'll hear them go, oh, and then if you meet up with fish, and then they'll cut off and go to the next thing because the trigger is right there. You'll miss dialogue. So you have to stop and let them do if you want to hear all the dialogue, you have to stop, let them talk their entire thing, and then move to the next trigger point.
That stuff drives me crazy.
Yeah, I don't much care for that.
Huh. Okay.
And it's fully voice acted, and they do not leave any space for you to like. And that's the thing. I'm a streamer, so the space in between the dialogue is where I talk. There was almost none of that.
I've never had that problem in a game, in the sense that there was too much voice acting.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And it's just like, it's constant. It's near constant.
So what is the
and
game?
You find, like, I find I did this a lot. Move to the next person, hit the talk button, put the controller down, and just listen.
So is it a walking visual novel? Like, what is it? What do you do?
A lot of walking. In my time of playing it, there wasn't a lot of gameplay. Like, I played one game of beer pong, and it was very simplistic controls.
Okay.
And then it was just more dialogue.
Huh.
The basic gist of the game is, which I didn't get to, is that the devil has a standing bet with anybody in hell that if you outdrink him, you can get out of hell. And that's the point that I was trying to get to. But in order to get into hell, or in order to get to talk to the devil, you have to get a pass into his like shindig or whatever. And in order to do that, you have to talk to several other people to get a ticket, and so on and so forth. Good things this game has going for it. The voice actors, you'll know them. There's like three different persona voice actors.
Yeah.
The look of it is gorgeous. The voice acting of it is fucking fantastic. It's really well written, and it's really well done, and the sense of humor is spot on, but it's just a lot of it. This is a game I would not recommend streaming, because if you interact with your chat a lot, because there's not a lot of room to do that, because you're always like hearing, listening, dialogue. The only buttons you press is like to make dialogue choices, other than like the one beer pong game that I played. It's X or B, and that's the only thing you have to press, like for the 2 hours I played it.
Weird. This game had a lot of buzz going for it, right? Like it
yeah.
And
rightly so, but it's not much of a game for the first few hours, at least.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of walking and pressing A to talk, pressing X or B to make a choice.
Huh. Okay. All right. Maybe it opens up. I don't know. Apparently, Bike Man streamed and had a blast, according to chat. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's tons of people. Like Bronze Girl did the same thing. She's like, "Oh my god, I love this game," and I was just like, "I'll do the talking, thank you."
Sure, get it. I get it.
I mean, it's like I said, I it's not a bad game. I didn't personally have as much fun as most people did.
Right. Yeah. What about Encased? How was Encased?
Encased was okay. It was okay.
What was that, Go?
Did I back this game back when it was on back in the day?
Oh, really? What the? Okay, explain what this game is. There's a lot of.
This is character creation.
Oh, okay. I'll skip ahead then.
This is one of those games.
Before we continue, real quick, this game is like early access, right?
Oh, it's that. Just getting into that. First thing I was going to mention. Don't buy this game yet. It is not even close to ready. Not even close.
All right.
I was like, oh, psionics. I'm going to do a full psionics. None of the psionics is like not available yet. So many of the things in this game are not available yet. I don't even like, this might be what early access is for, but there's so many things you can't pick because they're not available yet. It's like bare bones there. And it's as it is right now, it's okay. They don't do any hand holding, so you have to like figure out where to go and stuff like that. I had someone who had played a little bit of the game that kind of helped me like go through and progress the story and the basic like quest line a little bit. But I mean, I really don't have that much to say about it because it's not a playable version of the game yet, in my opinion.
Okay. Great.
It's like
Yeah,
you
we'll
have
wait to
you have
reserve.
Mario, but you only have level 1, and that's it. Kind of a thing.
If I remember the last update that I read that they sent me, this version is the first early access version, and then there's going to be like 4 early access versions, and then a release version. So this is like not even a vertical slice. It's just like Zeke said, entire portions of the game just aren't even in yet. Like the magic system, psionics. It's
Gotcha.
a good example. Heavy weapons, I think I remember reading, wasn't even in the game yet. So, it's very much just like this is what it will be one day if you want to play these like few specific builds. But even the main content stuff isn't in yet. They're still figuring out how they're going to do some of like the main system. So yeah,
Yep.
early. That's one of the reasons you haven't seen me play it yet. I'm giving a little bit more time.
Cool.
Yep. Good idea.
Last game on the list was Song of Horror. I watched Lyric play this for a little while.
I wanna know about
see if you liked it. Yeah.
Fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
This
It looked
game
pretty
is
fucking terrifying.
great. It is. This is one of those horror suspense thriller games that really nails like the atmosphere and it doesn't overdo. A lot of horror games overdo the jump scares and the startling moments, stuff like that.
Yeah.
This does not. This builds and builds, but it's not. It doesn't feel slow because you're constantly exploring, and the game gives you enough time to forget, and then it goes boom. Here's something,
Yeah.
and then it gives you like a new mechanic. It gives you
pretty.
a new thing. Like the first thing you do when whatever it is near is it says like it's trying to break through and you have to like shut the door.
Yeah.
And the it's sort of a quick time event, but it's like you tap 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 tap, tap try and slam, tap 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 tap, try and shut, tap 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 tap, tap, try and shut the door, and then you finally like get it and slam the door. That's like the first thing, and it was kind of intense. But let me just pull this up here. It's a survival horror adventure. Face the manifestations of the presence, an unpredictable eldritch AI that reacts to your way of playing. You won't
Eldritch
experience
AI?
two
Huh.
exact
Wait, what?
gameplays.
Yeah.
No, eldritch. No. The AI is not. It's not like artificial intelligence in the game. It adapts to your playstyle.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. It says it
Wait,
reacts to your way of playing.
So like it actually plays differently depending on how you play it.
I think so.
Huh.
Like if you run around everywhere, it'll start like, attacking you more. If you sneak around, it will do different shit. That's the gist. I only played a little bit, so I don't know how much it changes. I really don't.
That's cool, man. Cool premise.
But you're exploring this old house. The environments are laid out really well. It's really like it has a good mystery to it. Like there's a door that you see. It's like there's no possible way this door could be here because the other side of this wall is something else. And you open the door and you go down. You find out it's like this magical place and that was put there by this presence or whatever. And they're like one of the things I really enjoy is when they don't tell you that you're supposed to be frightened and they'll just place something and you'll notice it. Like I walked outside of the house to look on the porch. And then I walked back in.
Oh, here's a little bit spooky.
And yeah, this is that part.
Okay. Yeah.
But I walked back in and they didn't make that, that violin sting where it's like, be scared now.
Yeah.
I walked back in, nothing changed. Music didn't change. But in the corner was this like little girl figure. That wasn't there before.
Nope.
They don't tell you. And I was like looking, and then I looked over and went, holy shit. Cause it wasn't there before, but when you look away, it goes away.
Yeah.
I love that when they
let you scare yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. One of the things I won't tell you what happens, but you pick up like a picture. You pick up like a little, like just a Polaroid picture.
Yeah.
And then because the items you can like turn around and look and whatever. And on the back, it says, don't look at this picture.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you look at the picture? Okay.
Did a small girl then start following you around with a knife?
Yeah.
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 But it's one of the better horror games that I played in a while. And I'm definitely coming back to play some more of it. Oh, also, one of the mechanics is, you remember Friday the 13th, the NES game from back in the day?
No.
Okay.
I can't help you there.
You had like a list of camp counselors, and when you play one, and when they die, you play another one. You play a different one.
Oh.
Same kind of mechanic. There's
Okay.
like five playable characters, and when, like, if you die, you pick another one and pick up where they left off. They drop their stuff where they die. You pick up their stuff, but you're a completely different character with different, like, all the characters have like a different light source.
Yeah.
And a different like special thing. Like one character has like a flashlight and a flask. The flashlight is his light source. Some people have a candle, some people have a lighter. Everyone has a different light source. And this guy's, his flask is for calming down when his heartbeat gets too high, when he's being like terrorized or whatever.
Huh.
And one of the mini games that I came across was you're being chased by something, the presence. You don't know what it is. You hide, and then you have to play this rhythm game where you make your heartbeat slow down. And if you miss, your heartbeat speeds up. So it's hard to do. It was fucking difficult because if you get it, you nail it. I got it, but the heartbeat slows down. You miss a beat, you're like, fuck, oh shit, fuck, and it starts getting higher and higher. You're like, nail, get it. Fuck, I missed again. Fuck. It's great. It's fantastic.
Okay. How much is the game?
That's another good thing. $7.99.
Whoa. Okay.
$8, baby.
Is it not that long?
Oh shit, fuck.
Is that not?
I forgot.
Uh-oh. Shit fuck. Shit fuck. That's not good.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
It is $7.99 for episode 1.
Oh, it's episode. Okay.
How many episodes are out?
It's episodic. It has 2 episodes out now. Episode 3 is coming out. It says not available, but it has episode 1 and 2. But you can get the season pass for $21.99. My bad. Sorry.
Okay.
I forgot
the
Not
game.
too bad. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but I
Still
definitely
seems like a
like
good price. I mean, if it's
for episode 1. I mean,
Yeah.
I got an hour and a half out of the first episode, and I don't think like I even got close to getting to episode 2.
That's good. Yeah, that's still not bad. I mean, the game
$20 is good,
looked quality.
especially
so
for
that's
quality.
good. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, really good game. But I've been talking for a long time. Somebody else talk.
Cool. Yeah. No, that's we put some work into those indies. We're still chipping away at them, so we will do just that.
I think we're caught up now. I honestly think we're caught up.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, great, cool. Cool. Let's speed run through some stuff. Only because I haven't asked, but I knew I was going to talk to you on Drop Frame, so I didn't really bother to. Is anything new in that Dio Alpha? Wow, that Neo Alpha or Demo or Beta or whatever the fuck it's out. Okay,
Yes.
It is. There's new stuff.
Yes. They have okay, let's start at the beginning. So Neo 2 Alpha, awesome. So good. It's more Neo 2, and I loved the first round. I absolutely loved the second round. So things they added. First of all, they brought back some of the weapons from Neo 1. So they're the Kurosagama, for instance, the dual swords. There's a lot of weapons that are now in Neo 2. They also added in a new weapon called the Switch. They call it the Switchblade, but it's basically like a Switch scythe. And what's really cool about it is it's basically a giant scythe. And if you are mid-range, it is a scythe. If you are if you're high stance, it's a scythe. If you are mid stance, then he flips the blade out and it becomes like a pole arm. And then if you're low stance, he pulls the blade back in and like holds it behind his arm.
Oh wow.
So it's like when you go through the different stances, it actually switches the type of weapon you're holding, which is really fun. And then on top of that, it is a magic based weapon, which is really interesting because it makes it so like there's this new kind of melee mage build that could be viable. I didn't do a lot of playing with it myself because I am that weapon right there, which I absolutely love. The
That's a long
giant
sword.
two-hand sword is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. why is the name escaping me right now? But it's basically like their big two-hand sword that I
Uchigatana or
just
something like
absolutely
that?
love.
Yeah.
No, it's an Odachi. It's an
Oh, there you
Odachi.
go. Okay.
That's what it
Yeah.
is. And I'm married to the Odachi. It's such a cool weapon. But also, not only did they add that, but they added in a new thing called the burst counter. And what's interesting now is whenever the enemies have grab moves, grapples, and that's when they kind of have this black and white smoke effect that will go around them, and you have to dodge away from them or interrupt them. But now they have this new thing called the burst attack, and that's when they start kind of glowing red, and there's this cloud that starts emanating from them. And if you hold R2 and hit 0, and your character does what's called a burst counter, and he goes into demon form, kind of whips forward, and kind of puts a big blast in front of him. And if you hit an enemy when they're doing a burst attack with a burst counter, which is right there, you can see it right there. Then it has all sorts of fun effects. Like if they're a yokai, it reduces their stamina big time. It also interrupts the move, obviously. So that was pretty cool what they added. Also, in terms of the demo itself, some new items, lots of new weapons, of course. And there's a whole new level with a whole new boss.
Oh.
And also, this level here was in the first beta, but I went through and played it again. Now, what they did was they changed the boss to add in the burst counter, and they also turned it. Yeah, the big giant snake thing.
Yeah.
About 5 times more difficult now.
Oh.
I played it online and tried to kill it for about 2 hours straight.
Wow.
Before finally being like, I have to go. I basically like went into my lunch and had to skip my lunch because I was trying it so hard. Ended up beating it offline about 30 minutes later because I was just addicted to keep playing it. And I also found out after watching Man vs. Game this morning, because I thought I was done after the snake boss, so I wasn't going to go back to Neo. But I found out after watching Man vs. Game this morning that apparently there is a third new boss in the Twilight mission. There's this human guy with this crazy ass spear. So I'm actually going to be playing Neo 2 again tomorrow morning and going for him and seeing how we can.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, it's great, dude. Neo 2 is phenomenal. I've been loving everything about it. And the free beta, by the way, this is totally free for anyone that wants to play it until the 10th on PS
cool.
Now. Yeah, it's great. It's freaking awesome.
So with them adding in this new system, and then we're running short on time, so I want to move games. But with them adding in this new system, Neo has a fuck ton of systems going on. Is it feel like there's too many?
It's getting close.
Yeah,
and it's but with each new system, they just kind of up the difficulty a little bit. But I mean, now not only do you need to worry about stance, not only do you need to worry about combo and all the specialization that comes between all that, and factoring in your weapon type. Now you also have the special moves because now they have you get these cores when you defeat enemies, and those add to special moves, which you can then trigger holding R2 and hitting square triangle.
Jesus.
Now they have the burst counter on top of that. There's also more. The skill trees have also been grown out hugely. You have all sorts of new stuff in them as well. So yeah, it is becoming a very large, complex game.
Yeah.
Not that it wasn't already pretty much that way already with the stance dancing. It is getting even more so with all the burst countering and stuff of that nature as well.
Yeah, maybe
and you also have the key pulsing and everything there too.
Maybe I'm forgetting systems, but I feel like Sekiro was as good as it was because of kind of how simplistic that game was. And so I enjoyed the Neo 2 beta or the alpha, whatever it was that I played the first time this was out. But yeah, I just wonder if it's going to start getting too complex. Can you ignore the mechanic completely and be fine?
You can. Absolutely. You can dodge around the attacks with the red stuff. The game does make it very advantageous to actually like the game makes it very advantageous to utilize burst counters, and thankfully it's just R2 and 0. Like it's a super easy command. And also what's really nice is I don't know if they were just making it easier for us folks, but there is definitely no question that they give you a good amount of time to get the burst counters off.
Okay.
So it's the kind of thing where I'm pretty sure if you don't burst counter, the moves will go through your attacks. I didn't test too much of that. But the burst counters are pretty easy. They're pretty fast. And once you start getting them down and start looking for the red attacks, it becomes pretty intuitive.
All right. Well, it's cool that they're adding stuff in here. I was curious to see what this is coming out March, right? They put a launch date on it?
March.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, we'll see what the end game of that or the final game of that looks like in 2020. Are they calling this a beta? What are they calling this?
Neo 2 open beta.
Oh, okay. So this might be the last time they show the game then before final release, potentially.
Could be.
Okay. Let me scan through the games here. There was something else. Oh, Planet Zoo. What's going on with the elephants? Why is my timeline on Twitter just filled with people cursing elephants, ruining their game?
Honestly, it's one of the same bugs that was in Jurassic Park.
Really?
And honestly, like to talk about Planet Zoo, I played Planet Zoo for about an hour and a half yesterday morning. Unfortunately, I had a kind of major computer failure, so I kind of ended it quickly. But Planet Zoo is basically the Jurassic Park game with more features, significantly more micromanagement, and animals. Also, a plethora of absolutely terrible jokes that get to the point where it's like hard to handle. Like, you know how Zeke was talking about with the cat stuff in that kitty cat game?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I like it gets real rough in this one. And every so often it's like they try for humor, but it just comes off as weird. Like at one point, this old guy's like, "Ha ha, man, I really wanted to get out of that, just like I did when my house was burning down." It's like,
Jesus.
is that a joke? Did your house burn down? Is everyone okay?
Yeah. What the hell?
What do you? Yeah, it got so weird. And all the jokes are so corny. But at the end of the day, see all those bars on the bottom right there for a second? Like every animal has to be in a area where all of the terrain matches up. Then you have to make sure the plants and everything line up. Then you have to make sure they have shelter and climbing gear. Like it's basically like every animal enclosure is like a little mini game in micromanagement where you have to kind of like sync up all these values to make sure it's fine. And the thing is that's basically the entire Jurassic Park game. And so really what it feels like is they took Jurassic Park, they converted it to animals, made it about 3 times more micromanagey, and then released Planet Zoo. Like it really does feel and play very much like Jurassic Park. So after the hour and a half, I kind of just was kind of like, now granted, the big caveat for me personally is I did not try creative mode. So, creative mode where you kind of like get to do your own thing and do your own building. That's kind of the big pull of the game. And I never really got to that. I never really did that in the Jurassic Park game either. I just kind of worked through the missions and had a pretty good time doing that in the Jurassic Park game. But for some reason in this one, there's so many more things to micromanage that it was kind of just getting to the point where it felt tedious.
Huh.
Like I kind of realized at one point that I kind of would just rather play Arcanum and just have fun playing instead of just constantly looking at bars and trying to make sure this plant's from this continent and this biome and that they have enough soil and dirt. And I wasn't having nearly as good of a time as I was hoping.
Sure.
Weirdly enough, I felt it was a little bit better in Jurassic Park because in Jurassic Park, it was a lot simpler. You just make sure they have enough grassland. You make sure they got food and water and stuff. And then you can just kind of like make the cage pretty and move on to the next one. Where this one felt a lot more kind of just like micromanagement. I just keep coming back to that phrase. It's just lots and lots of micromanagement.
So they just kind of overdid
that
it.
being said, lots of cool animals, a lot of mechanics involving like researching and getting animals and releasing them and make, there's some really cool stuff in this game that I feel that if you're looking for this kind of stuff, you'll have a really good time. I think if I hadn't played the 20-ish hours of Jurassic Park that I did, that I probably would have wanted to put more hours into this. But because of how similar it felt to me, I just felt like this was like a more tedious version of what I'd already done. So
okay,
it's
Yeah.
so weird to hear
cool.
to hear you say those things about a game like this, because it's exactly why like all of these kind of games, like for the most part, turn me off immediately. I thought that would be like a selling point for you for how like micromanagey it got, like how like the minutest detail. But it's cool to see like you have a line, like there's a line.
Yeah, the thing is like I'm fine with micromanagement. I'm fine with tedium if there's kind of a light at the end of the tunnel, or there's a carrot that's kind of leading me on. Like in an RPG or something, there's a main story to work through, or there's levels and skills to get. Like if all that tedium is kind of presented in the right form, like in some cases the more tedious the better. Like I can actually really like it sometimes. But in this game I felt like the tediousness really wasn't going anywhere. It's just like I would finally finish doing a biome and then it's like, okay, on to the next one, I guess.
Yeah,
and then I
just
do all
kinda
that biome, and then
checkboxing.
it's like, okay, on to the next one. And then I do that biome, and it's like, cool, I beat this map. Let's go to the next map so I can do it all again. Like it didn't. There was nothing really kind of like pushing me down that road.
Sure.
And before anyone in chat says it, I'll just go ahead and say it's like, that's what a game is, Co.
Okay.
Sure.
I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like somebody just said, I completely disagree. You played for an hour while experiencing PC trouble, so it's not really fair. Well, in an hour, I got a really good idea about what I was going to do for the next 5 hours. And I think everything I said still was to that. I mean, even if I was designing stuff, and I actually later in the game, I got to the point where I was designing my own enclosure kind of thing. And even that to me felt kind of tedious. So
I'm just like soaking the salt. I'm loving the fact that Co is negative on a game and then like has to defend himself.
I'm negative on games all the time.
Every comment in chat. It just, it warms my cold dead heart.
Also, I really like how somebody's like completely disagree, Co. You completely disagree with my opinion on the game? Oh, okay, cool. Let me just make sure that my opinion that I made for this game, you completely disagree with. Okay, that's cool. That's fine.
Oh, you're right,
whatever.
JP.
It's so good,
You're
right,
right.
Zeke? This is
You're
perfect.
right, buddy.
It feels that 37,000 episodes and it finally happened.
I will disagree with you saying that Co doesn't say he doesn't like games or he's not vocal about it. He's not vocal in the same way that we are. But like this is a taste of that.
It is a little, it's sweet. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, like again, this like I actually just
sugar.
said a minute ago. This game will be great for some people. Like it's just I just wasn't really feeling it. Like I didn't. I just did this all in Jurassic Park. There really wasn't enough to make me want to do it all again for animals. Like
see
where I'm at right now.
Co is negative on a game in all the ways that he just was. I look at this and it just bores me to tears. That's how I'm negative about it. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Like I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Like I look at this and I am out. I am completely out. Like it's just like I've said before. I don't want to make my own story. I want that's your job as the game makers. Like.
Sure.
You give me
Somebody
a story,
just said,
and I'll play your story.
Yeah.
And somebody just said, "Look at my face right now in the replay." Like,
yeah,
it's true.
I just like I wasn't having a good time. I wasn't feeling it. I don't know what else to say, man.
Yeah.
I like.
Well,
and again, you're talking to a guy that had like 25 hours in Jurassic Park, which is basically just this game but simpler with dinosaurs.
What's the deal with the elephants?
Obviously, there's something there.
Why is everyone shitting on the elephants? What's going on with the elephants?
Okay, so it was the same bug that was in Jurassic Park. What can happen is there's certain bugs that can happen where no matter how happy an animal is, they will still just randomly break out of their cage. We encountered that with a few dinosaurs in Jurassic Park, where it's like dinosaurs that were not supposed to break out would sometimes just do it for the hell of it because they did. And it's really frustrating. I saw Ammunition on Twitter was having a pretty rough time with it. So yeah, it's definitely the kind of thing where it's just a bug. To be fair, there are bugs in the game. I started it up, and when I made my character, the game hard froze. So it's like as I was like, oh, off to a good start.
Sounds like
there are bugs in the game, so just keep that in mind.
Okay.
But outside of the crashing bug at the beginning and a few minor bugs during it. It was pretty solid. It was pretty solid. So, and it does have like a full campaign. So if you actually like the stuff that I was talking about, which I did in Jurassic Park, I just didn't really want to do it again. There's like, God, I say 20 plus maps that you can work through if you want to. And I'm sure all the jokes are all home runners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to read this chat comment of, to be fair, comma, this game sucks. I wish we could just we need to just be more direct like that instead of like all these colorful jargon and words or just be like, to be fair, this game's trash. It's a bad game.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time like wanting to say like super opinionated negative things about games.
Yeah. It's easier just to be direct.
Yeah.
Gets to the point. Yeah. I am curious about this.
Now we need to make sure the public understands. So overall, this game is being received pretty well. Most people that like this type of game are enjoying Planet Zoo. If you heard all the stuff I said and said, well, it's still great, that's awesome. And you may still love it, even if we don't like it. That kind of goes for every game on the channel and prop frames. So just because we don't like a game doesn't mean it's a bad game. It just means we're not really wanting to play that type of game right now.
Well, let's also say that Co doesn't like this game. Me and Zeke never played it. We're just joining in on the hate brigade because it's fun.
Yes.
So we got to make that clear as well. We got a little bit of time left, and because VR discussions go super long, it's good. I know you did a sponsored stream for this, and we should probably state that as well, or maybe it was just for the Oculus thing. But what is this God of War VR thing? How is this good? I've heard a lot of things about it. I don't know if it's good though.
Okay. For the record, yesterday I did an hour-long sponsor stream for Oculus, and I was supposed to play this game where apparently you play like a robot and you jump between buildings, and it was like super immersive and stuff. But apparently the game wasn't coming out until next week or something. It got pushed back. So they were like, hey, there's this other game called Asgard's Wrath. You want to play that? And I was like, hell yeah, I did. And the reason I did is because I've already done 2 streams of this game.
Yeah.
And complete, like, not spawn. Like, I was just having fun. Asgard's Wrath is Resident Evil 7 levels of game in VR. It is a 30 to 40 hour fully VR'd RPG. It's all unique world. Matt Mercer's the main guy you talk to. You can dual wield. You can.
I was in until that.
There he is, right there. That's Matt, by the way.
He's Hollywood now. Amazon owns his soul.
Oh, so he plays a character as big as his ego. Good, excellent.
Jesus. What the fuck? You realize that his fan base is going to clip. No, that's already clipped and shipped, dude. You're fucked. That whole relationship is ruined.
A fake ass rivalry with Matt Mercer that started way back for something real stupid and small, and I just kept it going.
The Hitman are coming. Get ready. You better start playing, training, because you're done. You're done in this business.
Anyway, you mentioned Resident Evil 7 as far as size. Is it as good?
It's better in terms of VR. The thing is Resident Evil 7 is a game in VR that cannot be played in VR. This is from the ground up a VR experience. And that gives it some stuff that Resident Evil 7 can't hold a candle to. So, like, one of the things, for instance, is this person that I'm in right now is actually a human, a mortal vessel that I am possessing. But in the game, you unlock these altars where you can hold down Y to go into God mode, and you literally, your perspective rises up from the top of the human into a global scale where you can then see the human and you can pick up things and move them around as a god.
Oh, wow.
So, like, at one point, I'm running around on foot and there's like pieces of a bridge and I'm fighting enemies around. And then I unlock the god shrine and go up into the sky. And then I'm picking up the pieces of the bridge to put it down so the mortal vessel can then go across it. There's animal companions. There's a full VR inventory, lots of VR puzzles and stuff like that. So things that are specifically like you can only do in VR, which is one of the things that Resident Evil 7 never really did because you can always play it on PC as well. What's also really cool is watch this coming up right here. So I go up to this, I think it's this part. I go up to this side over here, and I'm just kind of looking around at things to pick up, and then I notice, there's something under that. So then I have to lean down and reach under to get that item that's under there that you can only see from that perspective. You also have full hand and arms in it. So when you hold out the controllers, you look down and see both your arms, which is really cool. There's tons of weapons. There's like an axe that's exactly like God of War. So you throw the axe out, and then you have to actually do this with your hand to recall it. So you're constantly like throwing it out and then recall it, and then throwing it out and recall it. There's a full parry and combat system where you actually like actively parry their attack. You send them off, and then you go in and cut them up. This game is awesome. It is awesome. And it's, again, it's 30 to 40 hours long. It's pretty much fully voiced. There is tons to do, tons to see. It's cool.
Is it Oculus only?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
I played it on a Rift S. I have been told that you can play it on a Vive if you, and maybe even an Index, but it requires some extra software to do so, and I don't really know how it works. But yeah.
What's the name of it again?
It's called Asgard's Wrath. I will say this: the Rift S platform? So far has probably been one of the better headsets I've used. If you're doing VR regularly, not only does it have like one of the least amount of screen dooring that I've seen, but it also has sensors in the headset, so you don't need the sensor boxes all over the place. So wherever you are, it detects the hands in relation to your headset instead of relation to the sensor.
Yeah.
Which is really nice.
Yeah.
It does get a little bit weird when you pull your hands in close, because I don't know if there's a sensor that's angled like down and back. So, and especially if you like whip your hand behind your back, there's no way the headset will see your controller.
It's not
So
wireless,
there's a
right?
little bit of weirdness that comes with the fact that the sensor's on the headset, but overall, it's pretty good.
That's not a wireless headset, right? There's one wire.
Not a wireless headset.
Okay, and it doesn't. Does it have the IR sensor shit that you have to put up in the room, or is it just?
No, that's the thing. It
That's the
uses
thing, yeah,
it's,
okay.
there's two right here, and then there's one on the
Ah,
right.
fuck.
There's one on the top. So like all of those are used instead of the
Right.
sensors that you hang up in a wall. Yeah.
That's the one thing. Well, I haven't that, and I have to put in for the wireless Vive Pro. I have to put in a card into the PC and install this shit. Like, there's a bunch of nonsense.
I went
steps.
through all of that and I used it for a game and then I was done.
Yeah, I used it for Skyrim.
Yeah, one thing
for
they
like
don't
20
tell you
hours.
is all the extra weight that obscene wireless thing is on your head. Yeah, I actually got to the point where I was like, I think I'd rather just have a cable.
Yeah.
And you also have to wear a battery pack on your belt, which then connects
Oh yeah,
into the thing.
I bought six or seven battery. I did all that nonsense. I've done it all. So you're kind of selling me on that thing. What does that headset cost?
I think it's just around 4 right now.
Oh yeah, that's not too bad.
Oh, also, to their credit, I'm pretty sure I like these controllers best of all the VR controllers.
Yeah, those are like are those called the knuckle controllers? Because there's multiple types.
I don't remember exactly what these are called, but they're
I don't know.
It looks like a sex toy. I'm sorry.
What?
That's ridiculous. I mean, how would you ever come to that?
Yeah,
No.
What the fuck?
Hold it by the ring.
You should
Hold
stop
it by the
playing
ring.
games and get into porn if that's a sex toy for you, Zeke. What
Hold
the
it
hell?
by the ring. And tell me that doesn't look. Hold it by the ring. There you go. And tell me. I mean, come on, dude.
Sure, but by that standard,
By
then
the way,
that
if I
looks
ever-
like a sex toy as well for two people to share.
For
Like,
two
what?
people, it's multitasking. But no,
Come on,
by
Zeke,
the
you're
way,
stretching it here.
these are called the
No,
Oculus.
not yet. I'm not.
Yeah, I know. I set you up for that. High five, buddy. Here we go. Here, let's go through Co. Okay, we're doing the. Okay, good.
Wish.
Swish.
These are the Oculus Touch controllers. Also, by the way, what's really cool is they have button detection if your fingers are on the buttons, not necessarily pressing them,
Oh.
but on them. So if you actually bring up your hand in the game and you take all your fingers off the buttons, then your character will open its hands. But if you put if you rest your finger on the buttons, then he will close his hands as you move the hands on and off the button.
Okay.
It's really cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you play Tetris?
Yeah,
Effect
overall,
yet?
it's cool. There's also bows. There's a rudimentary magic system. You can have companions. Tons and tons of items. Loot everywhere. There's even harvestable plants like in Skyrim. Like, I mean, it's definitely a full RPG in VR form.
This is looking like everything that I wanted the modded Skyrim VR playthrough that I spent 20 hours modding and 5 hours actually playing to be without any of that bullshit. So I might have checked this out one day. Does it have any fat ass style gaming where you don't have to stand up? Can you just like sit down?
You do. You do want to stand up, and I got to say this, especially with the melee combat, I not only cut myself to the point of bleeding, but I harmed multiple
Well,
things
you're not
around
supposed to
me.
use a real weapon, Co. What are you doing, like with an actual hatchet in your hand?
I had an Elgato key light too close, and I was trying to reach for something, and as I was reaching, like I saw an enemy, so I just brought my hand back and swung, and I smashed my finger into the front of the Elgato
Good
key
Lord.
light, and oh man, it was bad. But I think I may have been throwing like that. You can see like I'm pulling the sword out from all of your items and stuff are around your character.
Yeah.
So when you pick something up in the world, you put it in your next to the side of
Your
your belt,
pouch?
let it go. You have 2 back slots and 2 slots on your belt, and you can put weapons in them. So it feels so badass. Whenever you want to pull out your sword, you like put your hand up here and
Shit.
grab, and then you pull the sword out from behind you. And then you can do the same with a shield on this side. So by the point of the game that I'm in here on this one, I had these things called God weapons, which always come back. You can also just use weapons that you find in the world. But like I had a God sword on my left one and the axe, which you can throw on my right. So anytime I came up to a fight, I was like reaching down and being like,
Yeah, no, that probably feels cool. What?
it felt so good, dude. Good.
Viewer experience
Here's
wise,
the arrow.
do you get sick? Like, I'm seeing a lot of like VR stuff where it's super bouncy. I guess camera wise, is that like for a viewer? Is it a little bit rough? Is ultimately what I'm asking. Yeah.
The big thing is, and honestly, I'm going to be blunt. This is on Oculus. Oculus needs to do something about this because what happens is there's a game called Beat Saber that you're all familiar with,
Yeah.
and there are third-party plugins you can get to Beat Saber that dramatically improve the viewer experience. They do something called view smoothing. So if you see every time I move my head or even slightly, the headset shakes a little bit. So everything's kind of shaky. Well, in Beat Saber, when you do that, because it has smoothing, it's like on a tether. So it's so much smoother.
Right.
And then also you can adjust the FOV. So like, even though my FOV would stay in VR, in the Beat Saber one, you can bring out the FOV. So it's like not only not moving a lot, but then if the VR camera moves within the FOV, it doesn't move for the viewer. So I mean, it's beautiful. So basically, what the Oculus guys really need to do is, if they're serious about having this be something they want people to watch, they need to put all that stuff in the Oculus Preview software,
Yeah.
which is what automatically starts up anytime you're using an Oculus game.
Yep.
So it is a little bit rough, and I certainly noticed more than a few viewers saying that they couldn't watch me play Asgard's Wrath. On the flip side, there's also a large majority of my stream that loves it and has been asking me to play it pretty much every day.
Dang.
So if you can handle it, it's apparently a pretty good watch. But if you're a motion sick kind of person, then it's the kind of thing where it's like, dude, I may want to watch you, but I just can't.
Makes sense.
If you want to, like, if you don't want to just buy an Oculus and buy this game or whatever, there's another game on Steam for the Vive called Witching Tower, which is a high fantasy VR game that I played a little bit of, and I really enjoyed it. Just in case you want something for the Vive. That's
yes, and again, I
vein.
have heard you can get Asgard's Wrath working on a Vive. I'm not sure exactly the software you need.
Yeah,
There's some software that I think tricks your system into thinking it's an Oculus, no matter what VR headset you're using.
Yeah.
So maybe something to look into if you have a Vive.
Might check it out. I know we're a little bit over, but Zeke, I don't do this often, but I'm gonna ask you to
It's
play
called
a game.
Revive. Oh, I like that. Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask you to play a game, Zeke, for Indie Sunday. All right. I'll show you a trailer so you can understand what it is. I hope you haven't played it yet. This is called Manifold Garden.
It wasn't out yet. I've looked at it a couple of times, but it hasn't come out yet. And when does it come out, or
It's
is it
out? Dodger was
Is
playing
it?
it
Okay.
the other night. I've seen a couple people play this.
No, definitely. That's been on my radar for the last 2 weeks.
I want you to check it out. Also, I want to see if it makes you as sick as it made me. And I don't get sick watching people play games, but I got very motion sick watching Dodger play this game. I had to walk away from the computer.
Not a VR game?
No, it's not a VR game. I don't even know how to pitch this game. Do you remember that game, that puzzle game? Fuck. That had to
Wait a minute.
It looks like an Escher painting.
Do you remember Antichamber?
What is it on?
It's on
It's
PC,
not out-
I think.
It's not out on Steam.
Might be on Epic Game Store or something. Or maybe PS4. Maybe it's PS4.
Okay.
It's like Antichamber-ish in terms of the puzzles that it has in it. But it made me very sick. And so I'm curious to see if it does the same for you.
Okay.
Chat saying it's on Epic for PC.
Yep. I kept looking at it. It said October 2020 on Steam. And I was like, fuck, it's not even out yet. Why do you guys keep suggesting this? But it came out the 18th of October on Epic. So I didn't even think about that. But yeah. So yeah, I will definitely be checking that out soon.
Cool.
Quick note, I wanted to mention to folks, I meant to do this during the Neo 2 thing, but didn't mean to. If you are interested in playing Neo 2 and you have not played Neo 1 just went free on PS Plus yesterday. So if you want to play Neo and you have PS Plus, you can get it totally free to check out before Neo 2 in March.
Awesome stuff. Cool. All right. That's a show. Let's do some shout outs. Next week will be the Death Stranding week. Hopefully we'll talk about it. Or most likely we will talk about it for a decent amount of time. Or maybe we won't. I don't know. What?
I forgot to talk about Apsulov.
I don't know what that is.
Viking horror.
Great. We'll save
But
that.
next
We'll save that for maybe we'll forget about it.
It was actually worth it. It was pretty cool. But anyway, next time.
Okay. All right. Zeke, do some shout outs for us.
Okay. What up, everybody? My name is Ezekiel III. You can find me at /Ezekiel_III on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Thank you to itmeJP for doing the show with me every week. If you want to catch me, I will be on in about 45 minutes. I'm going to be on my channel, and I'm going to be finally finishing up AI, the Somnium Files. Only have a few hours left, people were saying, so we'll see how long it takes. I was going to do it yesterday, but I didn't want to rush it in case it fucking drags on like they sometimes are wont to do in that style of game. But I'm going to be I have 3 of the 5 endings. I'm going to get the remaining 2 in about 45 minutes if you guys want to check that out. And then on Thursday, Okay, so Thursday night, so tomorrow night at midnight is when Death Stranding comes out, right?
Yes.
That's what I'll be doing. I'll probably be taking the day off, the daytime off, and then streaming starting at midnight. But I'll make sure everything like that's all kosher and it's like that's actually going to happen. Just follow my Twitter and I'll let you know what's going on.
Okay. I can't wait for next week to see. I hope we're split, and I hope that we're not all on one side of liking or disliking it, because those are the most fun discussions. But
Agreed.
yeah, we'll see how it goes. Co, do some shout outs.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Ko. I don't know you. It's nice to meet you. You can find me every single day, well, most days, at 8 a.m. EDT. Tomorrow is going to be Neo 2 in the morning, followed by Arcanum in the afternoon. And then at 3 tomorrow afternoon, we have a special dev update from the Pantheon, Rise of the Fallen devs, for anyone following that.
Oh, nice.
We'll be doing that from 3 to 4 tomorrow. Then as we move into the weekend, there will be much Death Stranding as we see everything that is in that game. For those that have been asking me, even if I'm not super feeling it, I think I still am probably going to try to beat it. Just because it's Kojima, so I want to see his whole vision, and see where it goes. So if you want to play through that is going to be completed, even if the streamer's having fun or not, we'll be doing that, starting on Friday. So as always, thank you guys for watching and hope to see all of you next week for more fun.
If that game is really as long as people are saying it is, there's a chance that none of us will have it beaten by next Wednesday. Like a very high chance that none of us will have it finished. So,
And if I don't like it, I will not be playing it.
yeah, I'm split, man. I'm kind of with Co. Like, I want to see. I
gotta judge it on the whole package.
Yeah,
I mean, we may never see another game from Kojima. He has already announced that he wants to do movies with his studio. So, like, this might be his last gaming hurrah. Yeah,
he did. So, the interesting thing, and to steal from Giant Bomb's conversation yesterday on their show, they came up, or they maybe this is next week, but the idea that limiting Kojima to like a 2-hour movie could either be really, 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 really good or completely awful.
Or it doesn't even get started.
Yeah, like there's no, like, the way he's told stories his entire life so far in games are like 50+ hour things for the most part.
Or some cases, entire franchise.
Yeah. So I don't know. Well, next week, man, it's gonna be fun. Immediately after the broadcast, I'm gonna be checking out the new Need for Speed game. It's probably what you expect a Need for Speed game is, but I'm holding on hope still. 10 years after Burnout Paradise came out, or however long it's been, that I will find another good racing game. So we're going to check it out here in about probably 5 or 10 minutes on the channel. Tomorrow, I don't know what we're going to be doing. It's either going to be Need for Speed, Red Dead Redemption 2 on the PC, or jump back into Divinity, because that game's really good and I'm enjoying it, and I don't mind playing it for an afternoon. And then on Friday, just like everyone else on Twitch, most likely I'll be playing some more Death Stranding and jumping into it. And I don't know. I don't have any thoughts on it. We'll just have to see how it goes. So that's where you can find all of us. And that's going to do it for Drop Frames this week. We'll be back next week to talk about Death Stranding and whatever else has been going on, and whatever else streamers on whatever else platform, because I'm sure there's going to be more of them. Or maybe not. Maybe, like Co was saying, it'll be dead for a while. We'll just have to see. That's it for Drop Frames, though. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We will see you guys next week for more. We're out. Bye-bye.